Hello and welcome to the Moffats. I am Andy Moffat and this is the very first video I'm doing by myself because Beth is going to be doing a separate video which will be following this one after. So today I just wanted to kind of briefly go over the house because I thought it would be something quite interesting for people, mainly for those living in the UK, to understand the process. So, you know, kind of similar processes will be kind of the same as they would be in probably most countries, but the way in which we bought our house will probably be very specific to the UK. So we did a thing called shared ownership, which I'll put a little thing here, which basically means that we kind of part buy and part rent our house. So it's just basically a new scheme that the government put in to basically help new buyers. You can get more house for your money than you would be able to if you bought it outright. For example, when me and Beth were going to originally, before we bought this house, we were going to buy a 2-story masonette or a flat, and we could have bought that outright, and you know, we would have been all right there. It was quite a really nice place. We literally were on the verge of putting all our details through to buy it, until this place came available to us, and you know, that was a 2-bed, 2-story flat, had no garden, no driveway. And you know, that was, you know, not a bad amount. It was in our price range, but you know, it's a 2-story flat. Whereas with the shared ownership property that we've got now, we've got a 3-bed townhouse with a garden, with a drive, you know, 3 bedrooms, you know, more room. So you know, if that opportunity, that kind of choice from the government wasn't there, then we wouldn't have this opportunity to buy this house. We'd have to be at the other place, which would have been fine, but you know, would have been more kind of cramped, less room, and you wouldn't be able to kind of grow in it. Which obviously, with us starting a family, we wanted to be able to have another one, you know, in the near future. So basically means that, you know, we own a certain percentage of the house. So obviously, there's a total value for the house. Let's say it's 100,000, and we own a certain percentage of that. So in this case, let's just say 50. So we own £50,000, so we get a mortgage for £50,000. Obviously, if you have your deposit, then you add that on as well. So let's say we had a £10,000 deposit, so we still get the £50,000 mortgage plus our 10%. So we, in theory, own 60% of the house. So then the other 40 is rent that you have to pay, as well as your mortgage. So you've got the rent and the mortgage put together as how much you pay per month. So obviously, if you're buying outright normally, you just have the mortgage to pay for. So over time, that 40% that you don't own, you can gradually purchase. So let's say in 5 years' time, you want to, you know, you have a better paying job, you've got more savings, you could go to the person that owns the other half and say, you know, which tends to be kind of a housing association or developer or something like that. So it's like a business, it's not one person. It's not like Dave from down the road owns the rest of your house. So yeah, you could say to them, okay, let's buy 10% of that, so we want to make our share 70%. So you can do that. It's called staircasing. Again, be here somewhere, and that basically just allows you to gradually own the full property. So these do come as leaseholds rather than freeholds. So because you don't own the whole plot per se, so you have to then obviously gradually own that freehold by owning 100% of the property. So it is a great way to do it. I'd recommend this to anyone. It is, you know, it is a little bit annoying that you don't own the whole house, but you get more for your money than you would if you went to buy a flat like we were going to. Are there any downfalls? Yes and no. As there is to any purchasing of anything. So, you know, questions that people probably tend to ask, probably will ask in the comments is, you know, can you decorate? Yes, you can. They advise not to because it's a new build. You know, let it all set in, let it all dry, etc. Because you do tend to get stuff like foundation cracks with new builds. So they say just leave the paint on that's on for the start, and then just paint it over it when you kind of have been there kind of a year. Another thing that people may ask as well is, oh, can I knock a wall down? You know, I want to extend my kitchen to be a kitchen diner, blah 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 blah. Yes. I think this is very kind of development specific. I haven't really looked into this too much because I'm not really interested in it yet. But I think from what I've briefly seen in the past, when I went to property purchase and inquire about this place, was as long as the developer or the other person that owns the share can see there's a increase in value or not a decrease in value basically, then they can go ahead with it. So say if you wanted to redo your garden, let's say you wanted to patio the whole garden rather than having grass, as long as you can then kind of basically, you have to kind of not necessarily ask for permission, because again you still own some of that house as well, but you need to kind of both have to say, yeah, that's fine, let's do it. One thing to know about value as well is if you do go to that staircase side of things and you want to buy 5%, 10%, you have to make sure that obviously you're aware that, let's say it was worth 100,000 when you bought it, doesn't mean that if you're going to buy 10% share it's going to be £10,000. The house price then might be 150,000. You might have gained value in the house, so therefore if you're going to buy 10% of the house, you're going to be ended up paying 15,000, because it's done on the value of the property at the time. So obviously ideally buy it when the property is not at a peak price, probably going to go down possibly depending on the market, but yeah, buy it at its lowest price as and when you can, rather than waiting until it's a high market. So yeah, obviously with the house we've got, like I said, 3 beds. So the way that the house is laid out, kitchen, toilet, living room, garden, all on the ground floor. Then we've got 2 bedrooms and a bathroom on the first floor. Second floor is the 3rd bedroom. So that's how it's laid out. I'll put a little plan here. So it's not the biggest house. We will do a house tour obviously when we move in, and if we get early access, which we haven't done yet. So this is the one thing that has annoyed me the most about the whole buying process, is there has been no kind of properly like detailed kind of visits to the house. We haven't been allowed to go into the house to view it. It's all been kind of through, you know, a virtual tour or kind of pictures, or kind of just them telling us what's included, like floor plans and stuff like that. So we have what's called bought off plan, essentially. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to kind of let people know. And if you are or have any other questions about kind of the shared ownership thing, if you are in the UK and you wanted to know a bit more, if you had any queries, you know, maybe just about how we purchased it, how we kind of got into doing it, because there's quite a lot of kind of application process you have to do to be able to go through. So yeah, pop your comments down below and we'll be more than happy to kind of explore in more detail kind of any questions that people have. Maybe we'll do like a little Q&A. Also, if you have any questions about anything else about, you know, Beth and I and the channel, or what we're looking to do, then again, put them down below. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you like the video, and Beth will see you. I'm forcing her to do this because she does not like the camera, as you probably told in the last video. Yeah, just that's it really. So yeah, so make sure you like, share, subscribe, and we will see you in the next video. Goodbye.